All right, guys, we're back. We're here. Live recording from the Hex Haunted Attractions Tower. I don't know why I laugh every time. I'm your host, Langley Austin, promoter here at Franklin County Speedway. And I've got the main man, the lead entertainer, Noah Hinchee, right here beside of me. Noah, good to have you here in the tower with me today, recording the podcast.
Yeah, sorry if I sound a little poo-poo-ish. I don't know what was floating around here at the track on Saturday, but all my people have had our allergies flare up real bad. There was a lot of pollen kicking around here.
I don't know if y'all were kissing around on different people or what.
We might have been. Sick. Look, we didn't have to bring that up, but
yeah.
I mean, it could be possible.
I mean, anything can happen. Y'all must have been with my wife because she said she's been sick too, so I'm not real sure what's going on here.
I'm telling you, from lap one in practice, when them cars went around there, they kicked some pollen up. I've been going through it the last few days.
Yep. Yeah.
But it happens. What are you going to do?
Must have been the stock fours kicking it up because nobody else was kicking anything up this weekend. I mean, we just got to laugh. At this point, man, the way car counts are, and, man, I've looked around at different tracks from this past weekend. The way car counts are, I mean, you might as well just laugh about it because it ain't really that funny, but, it is what it is.
Well, hey, I don't know about other tracks, but thank the Lord we got stock four holding the fort down right now.
Yep.
I don't know if other tracks have a division as exciting as this one. But
most do not.
Thankfully, we do.
Yep, for sure. Stock fours, 12 cars strong this weekend. Another good field. We'll talk about them in detail, I'm sure, here. Pretty tame night overall. Stock fours had some excitement, as they always do. But otherwise, car counts kind of dictated the races in the late models. In the one-stop towing late models, the mini stocks and the Bonita tractor and trailer legends were fairly tame.
Yeah, lacking excitement.
I mean, although the mini stocks opening lap, start of the race was pretty exciting. I mean, we didn't have before cars.
And the final lap.
Yeah, and the final lap. 4 cars, 4 wide coming across the start-finish line. You got Josh Phillips missing a shift, Wes's car, the battery going out. There's a lot of things happening right there on the start, so you end up with, I think, Wes Goff and David Duncan jumped out, and they were first and second there. And, they sorted it all out after a lap or so, but in the meantime, it was good stuff for sure. You might hear a race car going around in the background. That'll be one of our stock fours. They're practicing this evening. There's a couple of them out here taking some laps, and I guess trying to get better for this Saturday night.
Get better for wrecking is what it seems like. But, we can get into that later.
Yeah, we will.
I'm sure we'll go quite in depth on that one.
Yeah. Bonita Tractor and Trailer Legends. Ethan Troll won his 4th race in a row over James Folds, Charlie Bills, and Austin Sams, 4 cars in that field. Very frustrating to start the season off with 13 cars, be down to 4. But looks like we're going to have a really good field this week for the James River Equipment Ridge Runner Classic with the Super Cup cars this weekend. Got Legends cars. Listening to them, sounds like we're going to have a good field of those guys. I believe Brad Shiflett will be back this week. Nathan Wheat told me that he will be back this week. And then they've got some guys coming out of North Carolina, Wake County maybe, where Troll and them have been racing on Friday nights. So we'll see what happens. See what happens there. Hopefully we'll get about 10 or 12 of those guys, and they can put on the show like they did earlier in the season.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
The Legends, they look so good. And it's kind of fallen off. I hope we can get back to where they were in the beginning of the season, where they were putting on quite the show.
Yeah, and, I don't want to take anything away from them because they did put on a show Saturday. It just wasn't, when you got 4 cars, you get so, I think in your mind, you go, oh, crap, man. But, I mean, you got Charlie Beals here who dominated last season. Every race that he ran here, he won, I believe, last year. And then you come into this season, and that's his second start, and he ain't won yet.
Yeah.
So obviously the competition continues to get better here. Him and Ethan Troll got together on, I don't know if you even saw it because you're down in the pits, but him and Ethan Troll got together going down the back straightaway. Ethan just about, he was along for the ride there for just a moment, heading toward the inside wall. He corrected that thing. I believe out of that, he lost second. Then James Folds takes the lead. Then, Charlie Bills falls back and never could regain whatever he said, the contact between him and Troll there on the back straightaway cost him whatever happened to his car. But didn't bother Troll. Troll came back and got around James Folds and got the lead and got the win. So, I mean, it wasn't without, some excitement, but certainly wasn't what we were looking for.
Yeah, well, the problem is it's like you tell people who've never been to like a a NASCAR race.
Yeah.
You just see what's on TV, and it's like same thing here. But when you're there live,
yeah, there's always
the whole field back. You can watch the battle for 10th place.
Yeah, well, and not in this division. You have to watch the battle for 4th. But whatever.
As we've learned firsthand here, is that the guys in the middle almost always battle way harder than the guys up front or the guys in the back.
100%, man, 100%. I mean, these guys did a great job this weekend in that division. Mini stock, same thing. I mean, once Josh Phillips got out front, it was over. Once West broke, and I guess we can talk about that. Start of the race, they're 4 wide, like I was talking about a minute ago. Wes ends up with a battery problem. He goes into pits. He's done for the night. Josh Phillips gets it straightened out from his shifting issue, and gets the win in that division. His first of the season. Champion from last year. David Duncan got second. Wes Golf got third, but he did that in spectacular form there.
He parked that thing in Victory Lane. That's all that he knew.
Yeah, you told him that was a different way to park in Victory Lane there.
Yeah, look, and people don't understand that aren't super familiar with racing.
Yep.
Even after you're spinning, there's still ways you can save your car.
Yeah.
And I will say Wes Golf, that was a hell of a save, man.
100%.
He just barely touched the wall, the inside wall. It literally said, bing.
I thought he was on his way to destroying that thing.
That's what it looked like at first.
Yep.
But he somehow managed to keep it, and it just I don't even know if it left a scratch on that car.
I'm not sure either. Good to see him be able to save that thing and not tear it up. We definitely don't need to tear up any cars, for sure. One-stop towing late models. Matt Lawrence got his second win of the year, third of the season. It wasn't without a little bit of a battle in the beginning of the race there with Dakota Walls. Dakota got into him. They kind of got each other messed up right there, in the beginning of the race. I think Dakota might have had the faster car. He just could never get the position on him to get by him, and then ended up slipping back a little bit once they made some contact. Of course, Bobby Gillespie was here, broke a clutch in qualifying. We had 4 cars in that division, but only 2 started. Drew Bond did not start the race, had a little miscommunication about tires and so forth. And, I take 100% responsibility for that. I didn't get correct information from my officials, and, we had a little bit of a disagreement, but it was ultimately it was my fault. And I'll take responsibility there, but hate that he didn't get to run, but nevertheless, Matt Lawrence picking up the win, extending his points lead, and really probably driving away points-wise in that, because they don't have but a couple more races to go anyways, the way the season schedule falls. So, we'll see what happens. But
yeah, I will shout my buddy out, Dakota Walls. He's looking for another sponsor.
Yep.
And he's been asking me if I can get him in touch with, some of my people, and I'm doing what I can, but I'm just letting y'all know if there's anybody listening out there you want to sponsor a late model. And he doesn't just run here. He goes all over. So if y'all are looking for a car, it's not a big sponsorship. He's not looking for a big $20,000 hood sponsorship.
Sure.
He just wants, a little something just to help him out every week. So if y'all are looking to get your business out there or whatever you're trying to do, if you're just a fan, you want to put your face on his car, screw it, he'll do it. I made a joke, and he was being serious.
Yeah.
So Dakota Walls, he's looking for.
He didn't really tell you it was okay for you to put your face on there, did he?
No, he did.
Oh, Lord.
He's been messaging me about it. I was kind of joking, and he was like, "So what's the deal? You putting your face on my car or what?" And I was like, "I'm thinking about it."
Lord. Can we get you back in the Boss Hog outfit for that one?
Yeah, I'll make a nice little pose in the hat and the white suit.
Yeah. You wear your thongs for that one?
Yeah, Julio's thongs for men.
Hey, I skipped over them, because they're not in our actual results here. But, man, the spectator drags. That was good stuff this weekend, wasn't it?
That might have been the best spectator drag I've seen all year.
Yeah, well,
Not might have been. It was.
Yeah, it was definitely the best spectator drag of the year.
Subi and Ryan Wheat going at it.
Sean Peters from up in Floyd, he was here in the in the Subaru, and then you had Ryan Wheat there, and whatever that car is, I don't even know. I'm not a car guy, so I don't know.
It's not an Integra. It's whatever the Honda version is.
Yeah.
It's same car. It's an Integra, but Honda.
Yeah, sure. But they put on the show, and he ended up spinning out.
Crazy.
Man, had put them all out there at the end. I think, 4 of them, whatever it was.
I think it was 4.
Yeah, 4 of them there at the end, put them all out there for 5 laps. They didn't even make it 5 laps.
Yeah, they made it 3.
They got the checkered there. But,
they got the yellowed and checkered.
Yeah, fun time.
Also, first time I've seen a yellow flag in the spectator drags before. You might have seen it before. You've been here a lot longer than I have.
Listen.
But that is definitely the first time I have seen a yellow flag in the spectator drags.
Unfortunately, I'm old and I've seen a few things, and I've seen them carried out on rollbacks and wreckers here in the spectator drags. So, it happens. Luckily, nobody tore their car up this weekend. Trying to build those spectator drags up, man. So if you're listening to this and you got a cool car, or you got a fast car, or you got a slow car, I don't care. Bring that thing out here and, show us what you got. Get you some laps around the track. I mean, it's really the only time you can come and get free laps around the track racing somebody in your own personal street car.
Look, and it doesn't matter what it is. It don't matter if you have a souped-up Subaru like he had, Integra, or if you got a 93, Chevy Silverado.
Right.
It don't matter. Yep. You want to come out here, you want to race it, you want to bring your buddies out and, see who's got the big kahunas?
Yep.
Do it. Bring it.
It's definitely an opportunity in which to do so. We're working on an all spectator drag race night here in the next month and a half here. Got a car group we're working with, trying to get it all lined up, and it won't just be open to them. It'll be open to anybody. So we'll see how that works out. We'll keep you up to date on our Facebook page and website and all of that on what we do there, but I don't know if they can put on any better show than those guys did. Even Pablo got a little faster every time he went out.
Yeah, the mysterious Pablo.
Yeah,
in the Hex truck.
Yeah,
I'm not quite sure who Pablo is. I've never heard of him before.
Yeah, just like looking at one of the Mexicans out there.
He was driving my sponsor's truck. That's all I know.
That's right. So fun night. Got probably the fans started to get their money's worth in the spectator drags, and man, by the time we got to stock 4, race number 1, they got their money's worth by about lap 5.
I think it was lap 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even before that, they was getting I think lap 3. They was coming up on lap traffic, and it was getting a little hairy out there.
It definitely was, for sure. I don't. Keyshaun Claytor and Josh Hinchee up front. Battling one another, battling hard. That's, they come up on that lap car and, had to make some evasive driving there. And that, lap traffic seems to be a real Achilles heel for your brother, Josh.
It does.
It does not work out for him at all.
It does. He was more than likely, if Keyshaun hadn't, put the moves on him, if it was anybody else, Josh probably would have took the lead.
Yep.
And as we know, this year with the minimum weight rule and almost everybody run these Ecotechs.
Yep.
Once somebody gets out in front, it's very, very difficult to get by them.
It is. While those guys are battling, you got Wes Givens out there. He's done, sold his car. Josh was in the car that he won in last week, the Cobalt that belonged to Angie Campbell. So Wes is out there in Jaden Austin's, white car from last year that, they hadn't been able to get to run right. Man, he inherits the lead. When we'll talk about that in a moment. He inherits the lead off of some altercation there, and then he goes and breaks. Man, It seemed like nobody that was up front wanted to stay up front.
I'll tell you what, everybody's playing musical cars out there this
For sure.
week. I think there was only like 4 guys that were in the car. They were in last week.
Yep.
It was crazy, but entertaining nonetheless.
For sure. Great racing action. But I guess the main thing that probably most people listening, want to hear about is, lap 4, lap 5, whatever it was. I guess Josh Hinchee got tired of Keyshaun and showed him his displeasure and turned him around down here and center of turns 3 and 4, and finished him off of turn 4 there. What's your take there on that incident itself? I know you got to be a little bit biased. It's your brother, so I get it. So I'm giving you a little bit of free reign here to share your thoughts. So.
I'll tell the listeners, like I told you before, I'm gonna try to maintain between 80 and 90% neutrality.
I mean, I was asking for 91. We're not gonna get there.
I don't
though.
care what you were asking. I'm gonna maintain like a strong 83.5%.
Yeah, 83.5. Okay.
It was only a matter of time before it boiled over.
Oh, listen, 100%. I mean, I don't think there's anybody here who's been to any of the races this year that didn't think at some point or another that your brother Josh Hinchee and Keyshaun Claytor were going to get together in a manner that didn't result in one of them not spinning or wrecking.
Yeah, it didn't matter who it was. It was only a matter of time. It just so happened to be Josh this time. Yeah, and I'm sure, especially now, it's far from over.
Yeah.
And hopefully they can, Keyshawn get a little bit of payback and then it's kind of settled. But I doubt very seriously that it's going to be settled. I think this is going to be a rest of the year thing.
Yeah.
Maybe next year, maybe the next 10 years. Who knows?
Be honest with you, I'm thinking about seeing if I can borrow a wrestling ring and just let them get it over with right there, finish it. They ain't even got to do it in cars.
I think
let's not tear up any cars.
I'm gonna put Keyshawn on blast a little bit. He told my brother that he had little man syndrome earlier, and I was like, Keyshawn, you realize you and him are about the exact same size, right? So I think it'd be a good little wrestling match out there.
Yeah. Well, and we may have joked about this before on here. I'm not 100% sure, but the thing about it is when it goes further than that and it spills over into the pits, that's going to be an interesting fight there because of the people involved on both sides. I don't know. I'm not sure on how anything of that will go. Okay, but that is not that's not the scene we want. So hopefully these guys can either settle it in the cars or I can settle it for them. I don't know what they want me to do. I will if I have to.
I hope it's settled in the cars and not in the pits because I don't want to revisit it. We're done and we're over it. But, a few weeks ago, there was an instance where one of our people was maybe getting attacked, and we had about 12 people run in there. Yeah, I was exaggerating. Yeah, well, I'll give it about 6.
Yeah, there was definitely a handful for sure.
But I hope nobody wants that.
No,
nobody wants to fight. If you got something, let's just be men and let's settle this on the track.
Yep, I agree. 100%.
Whatever happens, it happens.
Or just go shake each other's hand and be done with it.
That is never going to happen.
That's not going to happen. But
we didn't mean be that kind of men. We meant like fisticuffs.
Yep, totally understand. I don't know. I'll tell you my take on it, and it's this. Race. You have to, however you want to be raced, that's how you should race. Up until this point, all they did was beat and bang. And the wreck wasn't, it was clearly intentional, but it wasn't egregious to the point that they destroyed each other's cars. So let's keep it there. You know what I mean? Let's not move any further. Now and I'm not calling out anybody by name, but I was very disappointed to learn that, that was an instruction that came from the pits. That will never happen again under any circumstance, period. And I have shut that down in other divisions, and I will shut that down beginning this weekend in that one. It is not, there's no part of racing that should allow for that to happen. That under no circumstance should anybody that's not in one of them race cars make any decision that happens inside that race car.
I agree with that.
And that's all I'll say about that.
I agree with that. That's what I would
let them settle it.
I've told people before, as a spotter, as a crew chief, you kind of have no matter what's going on out there, you have to remain neutral, and you just have to do your job, which is telling your driver where other cars are. If they decide they want to spin somebody or wreck somebody 100%. That's on them. But your job as a spotter is just to let them know what's going on. Now, if you want my official take.
Yep.
Keyshawn, he's rough out there. Obviously, that's no secret.
Listen, everybody in that division is rough.
This year, I think, like you said a couple weeks ago, you hit it spot on. You might hit it a little too hard spot on this year with the rules.
Yeah, I did.
Because these guys are, pardon my little bit of, they're not the butt.
Yep.
They are right there with each other,
100%.
running almost identical times. If you want to get past somebody, you have to be rough.
You do.
But you can only give so much to somebody before they're willing to retaliate.
I agree.
Whether that's chopping somebody's nose off or just dooring them for getting too close to you.
I think one of the things that in this division, well, there's a couple things. One, and I plan on telling them this in the drivers' meeting this week, stop being pansies. If somebody hits you, hit them back. Don't wreck them, but you give what you get, okay? Number one. And don't cry about it when you get out of the car. Nobody cares. We're just glad just glad that you're out there getting beat up on. We're watching it. We're entertained. Nobody cares, okay? So, number one, quit being pansies, quit crying about it. If you get hit, you get hit. Move on. Two, I'm going to skip that one.
No, go ahead and say it. Come on.
We're just going to skip that one. we're just going to move on from that. I plan to I have not attended a driver's meeting in like over a year. And I plan to attend the one this weekend. So,
well, we're looking forward to it. I might have to videotape this one.
I don't.
No, we can't. It's for drivers only.
Yeah.
But
they will not like this drivers meeting. I'll tell you that right now.
That's what makes it fun to me.
Because I'm not going to allow the class to become a demolition derby, and that is where they're headed if they don't find a way to coexist. And I'm not just talking about them two. There are others. There are others who have to find a way to coexist with one another. So
yeah, I just want to say, I hate that everybody keeps throwing this Josh wrecked Keyshaun around. I told you before, Josh did not wreck Keyshaun. Y'all can put it under whatever Wikipedia definition you want. He spun him very gently. It was the most gentle. He could have just slung that thing off into turn 3. Never lifted and went straight and hit Keyshaun right in the left rear and sent him flying. But he didn't. He just spun him. He let him know. The rule is bump, bump, spin. And that's bump. And that's not chop your nose off, chop your nose off, chop your nose off, spin, which is what happened.
I mean, that is an old school, adage, but it's not the way these guys race each other, and it shouldn't go that far. And it doesn't need to. It's not necessary. If the guy's chopping you off, find a way to get around him. It's your job as a racer to find your way around him. You don't have to wreck anybody. It's your job to. Are you a race car driver or are you a demolition derby guy? That's what you got to decide. And if you're into demolition derbies, they got one coming up at the Dublin Fairgrounds, and I'll probably sponsor you and take you up there. Okay. If not, quit being a pansy. Don't wreck anybody intentionally, and race. And that's what needs to happen.
Like I said before, and I know what your rebuttal is going to be, but it's kind of a mutual respect thing.
They don't have any respect for each other.
I knew you were going to say
you can't go, well, this guy's going to let me go because he respects me. No, he don't. He don't respect you at all.
But
and you
it's
can't
also,
expect him to.
If nobody respected anybody, as soon as the green flag dropped, Keyshaun could have right-reared Josh. Josh could have right-reared Keyshaun. But it's kind of a... There's a time and a place for everything.
There's a difference in not respecting somebody and disrespecting somebody. Keyshaun has shown Josh zero respect. Saturday, Josh showed him disrespect. There's a total difference between those two. There's a very fine line there, but there's a total difference between them two. And I know we'll never agree on that, and that's okay.
No, I know. But how many weeks of zero respect does it add up to be disrespect?
You show him the same. Show him no respect either.
That's the difference. You know what I mean? I firmly believe that Josh, my brother Josh, he is destined to be a rear-wheel drive guy.
Maybe.
He is never
Listen, he's done a great job in this class, though. I ain't taking anything.
He has, but he has never really liked the fact. Like, I love it. I love that we have to beat and bang.
Yeah.
And that's something I love.
Yeah, he's not big on that.
Wes loves it. Keyshaun loves it. Jaden loves it. Everybody loves it.
Yeah.
Maybe not Gary.
I don't know, man. The
Gary
last couple weeks, he's
Gary
grown to
is
love it.
learning to love it.
That's a whole other conversation there, and we can jump off Josh and Keyshaun there. Gary, man, I'm gonna tell you, he told us, last time, to, be sure to talk nice about him. Well, he's giving us no choice but to talk nice about him. I mean, I said all year, man, he's got to get aggressive. He's gonna have to get aggressive. Well, I don't know if he can get much more aggressive. He'll be like your brother if he gets more aggressive.
Yeah.
He's throwing it in there. He's doing what he's got to do, and he is becoming the race car driver he needs to become.
Well, he came in kind of naive, just like all of us do.
Sure.
Thinking, hey, guys, let's all be respectful and not touch each other. That ain't happening in the stock for it. With these rules, that is not happening.
No.
You have to move somebody.
Yep.
And Gary, I'll give it to him. He has learned it
He has.
just as good as anybody.
I think you take it long enough, you go, man, I got to do something here. You know what I mean? I've got to get as aggressive as they are. But he's doing a good job of not taking it past that level, and that's what you have to do. That's what makes you a good race car driver. And, speaking of somebody who did a great job on Saturday, and I don't know if he touched anybody, despite the fact that he drove in the middle of everybody, and that's Chad Asbury in your old car, man. He looked like he was like a world-class racer against them guys.
First off, not old car. It is my car.
Oh, God. Are we going to do this again?
Right. I'm a car owner.
Do I have to say what I need to say here? Oh, you're – okay. I'll take that.
I'm a car owner.
I'll take that.
Which I will be back in that car eventually.
Oh, God. Here we go again.
I will be back.
Lord.
I was about to get back in it, and then Chad was like, I want to run it. And I was like, okay, whatever.
And you were like, thank God.
Chad, at one point, was in last place.
Yes.
Behind the neon.
Behind everybody.
And if anybody has come to multiple races here this year, they understand that neon.
It's not exactly the
Let's
fastest
be real.
car.
It's a turd.
What are you going to do, though, here in a few weeks if Wes fixes it and he wins with it? What are you going to do?
I would love that. That'd be hilarious.
I mean, that's what he says he's going to do.
I didn't even know. That's another thing we can talk about. I didn't even know Wes was driving the thing in the second race.
I didn't either. I'm up here calling the race. Ryan Greer's done broke. Kim goes, that's Wes. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Wes, they something happened. I don't remember what, but they were pushing him in.
Yeah.
And Wes, when he gets to us, stand there, I stand right behind the wall, victory lane.
Yeah.
Takes his helmet off. I thought it was Ryan the whole time. He takes his helmet off, looks at us, and waves. And I was like, what the hell? I didn't even know that was Wes.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't either. I mean, but I'm going to tell you what, now the Givens performance team overall had an incredibly bad night. Mini stock, battery goes out, DNF. First race, he's in Jaden's 77 car, which I guess is part of the Givens performance collection over there now. Breaks the transmission or something.
Yeah,
Okay?
I will say, if there was an award for it, I know there's not, but Wes definitely had the coolest drift of all year.
God, yes.
When he slid all the way up top, got in the marbles.
I totally forgot about that.
And he was almost completely sideways throughout all of 1 and 2 and just kept it going, and it was beautiful.
You can catch a video of that on the FC Speedway TikTok. I think they just posted it today. Man, that was an impressive save, and he told me, he said, I thought I'd destroyed Jaden's car. He said, I went off in the corner, and I'm like, oh my God.
It was beautiful.
It was. Hey, listen, dude's got a set of skills that I've never seen. Anybody else would have crashed that completely. So I don't care who they are.
It reminded me of the old Stock 6 last year.
Yeah. Him and Joey Scott.
Yeah, Joey Scott tried to spin him. Joey bailed out a little bit too early.
I don't think it mattered when he bailed out. It wasn't going to happen.
That's the first time when I watch a video. That's the first time I've ever seen somebody have the presence of mind while they're sideways going however fast he was going. Yeah, to push the clutch in.
That's what he said he did here.
And throw that thing down into second.
Yeah, he said he went up there and he got up in those marbles and he just downshifted to second. That's an incredible. It's incredible that somebody can think about it that fast and have the skill in which to say that.
If that was me, I'd be soiling my shorts and just hoping I don't hit the wall.
Right.
That's the difference in talent that Wes has. That he has the presence of mind to say, yeah, let's throw it into second right here.
Yep, 100%. Chad ends up getting the win. His first Stock 4 win. Third start, I believe.
Second. He broke the first race.
You're right. He didn't start the second, so it was the second start.
Yep. second
pretty
ever
impressive.
in a front-wheel drive.
Pretty impressive, but threw that away in the second race. Blew her up. I told Darrell that those cams that he put in there were too big. Just a little too big.
Yeah, if that's what was in there.
I mean, just a little too big, boys.
I don't
Just a
think
little
that
too
was
big.
in there, but
They went too far with that one.
RIP, that motor had 30,000 miles, and it was very nice.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore, for sure.
He went out in style, though. That's for sure.
For what it's worth, Keyshaun, had that whole deal. He, got back, finished second in that first race.
Yeah, I will give it to him.
Gary Smith got third, Jaden Austin fourth, Austin Williams finished fifth. Man, I'll tell you, Austin, he's trying to figure that automatic out. I know he looks like he's fast out there, but he ain't quite got everything down yet. He's having to get into everybody every time he gets into a corner to try to keep up with them. And I don't know if it's where it's an automatic or if the car's just not as fast. I don't know what it is, but he's doing everything he can to try to keep up with them. So
I will give it to Austin. He's not. I was talking to him just an hour ago before we started this.
yeah,
That car, and like you said, he does make it look fast.
Yeah.
That car is not as fast as the rest of them things.
yeah, I agree.
And he was worried because there's some people out there that's saying he's driving really rough. But I get it. Like, he has to drive that way to get that car, get that car up to the top three, which he got a top three 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, he got second in the second race this week.
Yeah, and it's like he has to drive like that.
100%.
But he has the skill to be able to sling that thing in there.
Yep.
And like you said, it's automatic, and it's
He told me, he said, man, you have to bury that automatic in the corner. He said, so if somebody's there, I'm glad to hit them. He said, I don't.
Yeah.
He said, either that or I lose all my momentum and I go backwards.
It's those
not
big
even
monster
good.
truck tires you got to put on there.
Yeah.
Because you have to put those giant tires on there to
Yeah.
keep it. In the automatics,
Get
you have
the
to put it
gearing
in
right.
second.
Yep.
And if you have the same size tires we keep on the 5 speeds,
Yep.
halfway down the straightaway, you're hitting the box.
Yep.
So you have to put those ginormous tires. And also, what I learned driving what is now Jaden's car, I drove that a couple times
Well,
last
it's now
year.
nobody's car. That one's going to the graveyard.
Oh, it's dead?
It's dead.
It's dead.
Second race, Jaden in the 81, which, the automatic that you drove, the Spitfire. That thing took a real hard hit to the wall. Jaden had showed me some pictures. I hadn't looked at the car, but he showed me some pictures. The floorboards are all wrinkled up. Transmission guts
Damn.
come out of the driver's side. It's toast. So they're trying to figure out what they're racing this weekend. Him and Wes both trying to figure out what they're going to race this weekend.
That sucks. It
Yep.
didn't look. It kind of looked like Josh's hit when he was in his Sunfire. He didn't hit super hard, but he hit it just right
Yeah.
to destroy the car.
Well, I think.
And that's what happened with Josh's Sunfire, is that the whole floor pan
Yep.
crinkled up.
Well, I think in the instance of this wreck, and you can go watch it. I'm sure it's on TikTok or whatever now, but if you go watch it, when he goes into the corner, something happens to the car. Obviously, he goes up and gets into Austin.
Yeah,
I don't know if he
just
went too hard
slid
into
right
He didn't
up.
know what he even told me. He said, I have no idea what happened. He said, I don't know if I got in too hard. I know I didn't get on the brakes. He said, you can watch the video, tell where I got on the brakes and all. He said, and then when I think he was going to hit the wall in an okay angle, but Josh Brown was at the top and just narrowly clipped him.
Just enough
Just
to
couldn't
ruin
stay
his
off him,
day.
and I think it turned him just at the right angle into the wall, destroyed the car.
Yeah,
So
it was clear. I thought that he locked up the brakes.
yeah,
But once I, zoomed in on the video, I was like, those tires are still rolling.
yep.
Something happened.
He thought he had a flat tire originally, and then he goes over and it's still up.
I don't know if they've had the time to tear it apart,
No,
if
they
they
haven't
even
done that.
really care what happened to it. But
Yeah. I'm sure
you could
they
tell it
won't
was
find
right after he got into that car next to him that he just flew up the track. And then Josh Brown, I feel bad for Josh Brown.
out. Yeah,
He gets involved in every accident. It's
does.
not his fault.
he does.
When Josh spun Keyshawn down here,
Yeah,
my car, Chad,
yeah.
that was the most delicate spin I've ever seen in my life. That was about a 20-mile-an-hour spin. But poor Josh Brown gets involved in everything,
Yeah,
and he's not
yeah.
even a part of it.
He does for sure. He's in that hornet's nest where if anything happens, there's not much you can get away from.
Yeah.
When you're in the middle of the field like that, he's always in that third, fourth, fifth, sixth position.
He's right behind
That is
him.
not where you want to be.
Yeah, 'cause if something happens, there's nowhere for you to go.
100%. Anything else happened in the second race? I'm trying to remember. Gary, got the victory, his second of the year, second week or race in a row that he got a victory there. Austin Williams finished second, Keyshaun third. Keyshaun said he had the toe knocked out when him and your brother got together, and they didn't even think about it and didn't fix it before the second race.
Yeah.
Does he run third? Josh Brown fourth. Chad Asbury going to be credited with a fifth place finish despite the fact of blowing up. A lot of attrition in that race. Everybody fell out.
I was getting ready to say we started off with however many.
There was 12 in the first race.
And then ended with 4.
Started 8 for the second race and finished with 4. So lost 4 in each race.
But I tell you what, even them 4, Stock 4 lives up to its name.
They do, man.
Those 4 were neck to neck the entire time.
They were. It was pretty incredible. It was. Trying to think if there's anything else that happened. Of course, TJ Smith was going to make his first start. He was going to drive Wes's Eclipse. Found out that they got all the parts put back on there, and they figured out that it had a blown head gasket, so he didn't get to race. He didn't have time to finish it by then. I think he's going to try to maybe run this weekend. Not 100% sure, or maybe it's what Jaden or Wes ends up is in the Eclipse after they fix the head gasket.
Maybe.
They're tearing up too many cars. They got too much stuff broke. They're trying to build 2 more new ones, but they don't have time. I
don't know if were you up here. What did you see? What happened to Heather in qualifying?
I don't know what happened. She just ended up turned around there.
I heard somebody say she lost power steering or something like that.
That could very well have been. Yeah,
I heard 4 different things. Somebody said she hit the inside
if
wall.
Catches you at the wrong time. That ain't good.
Oh yeah, halfway through the turn.
Yeah,
That's a bad place to lose power steering.
That is a terrible place to lose power steering for sure. Yeah, I hated that she didn't get to race. She had been getting better every race. She gets better running with the big dogs, and I hate that she didn't get to run that one because that was I like seeing her progress, man.
Yeah.
Any of these women that raced last year and they get a chance like that. Alexandria Cundiff that came the last race. I know she wasn't very fast and she didn't get to come back this week. But man, if she gets some practice laps and just get better, this is the perfect class for learning.
Yeah, I will say we did get another new driver.
Yep.
What was it? 28. I can't remember. I didn't write
38.
that down.
That was Kevin Linton Jr.
Yep, Kevin Linton Jr.
Yep, and then his dad ended up running the second race. I don't know if something was. I haven't got a chance to talk to him, but man, when his dad got out there, that thing was all over the place. I don't know if something was wrong with the car or if he used to race mini stocks. I don't know if it was the difference in how they drive. I don't know what happened.
To me, it looked like, which I don't. All I know is from watching the video.
Sure.
To me, it looked like the camber fell out of one or maybe both of them wheels, because he was all over the place, and he down here in 3 and 4, coming out of 4, he hit the curb every single time.
Every single time. Over in the grass. Might not have to mow down there this week.
It should be good.
It's definitely been run through pretty good. But I talked to, I guess it was the son on text messages the other day, day before yesterday, whenever it was. He said that they'll be back this weekend, so hopefully they'll get the car dialed in, get them a little bit more practice, and get a little bit better. I believe that's a push rod, I think.
Yeah, it's a push rod. 4-door.
Yeah, 4-door push rod.
Yeah. And I will say, I think he told me he was 14. And what I respect more than anything is that even though he wasn't super fast, when the leaders were coming up on him, he held his line.
Yep.
Which is something
that others could learn from.
The others, I won't say who, but who have apparently raced here years ago, didn't understand. And at least he had the wherewithal to understand leaders are coming up. It didn't look like he had the time to get down because the leaders came up on him fast.
Yeah.
And he understood, I'm going to just stay right where I'm at. And that was perfect. Well, and I will give him major props on that.
I think, part of that is, he had the understanding to do that. And the other part is, in the beginning we were telling him, hey, lap cars need to get down, get out of the way, to let these guys race. Well, now we're not telling them to get down, let the leaders race. Just hold your line. Let them figure out how to get around you. And that was an old I learned that when I was with Kerry Bodenheimer in the UARA Stars Late Model Series, what was basically the precursor to the Cars Tour now. UARA was a great late model stock car series, but I learned that back then, they used to have a rule, at one time, and he finally said, man, just hold your line. They get in the driver's meeting. Well, where you want us to go if we're getting lapped? Stay right. What have you been running? Because they can see you as they're catching you. Where have you been running? They'll get around you. It's their job to get around you. Let them get around you. You don't have to move anywhere. And I think changing that, and man, I'll tell you, we've been through a lot of working. Me and Jay Altizer, working together this year. We have dialed in our race procedures, I think.
Yeah.
And I know, yes, we got less cars, so maybe, it makes us feel like we're doing a better job than we are because, things go smoothly. But I think there's a lot of things that we've kind of dialed in to where, okay, it makes sense now. You know what I mean? Things are smoother because, we've been, and you have to adjust. Things happen.
Well, whether it was a good or a bad thing, I don't know how y'all feel about it.
Yep.
But this past weekend went off so fast that, we never even had to turn the lights on. And, of course, that is partially because of car count and things like that. But as far as the races go, even with the smaller car, even the Stock 4, we had to clean up Jaden over there, and that went off quick.
Yeah.
And it was a very good, quick night as far as the officials go and race directing and all that. I was very impressed that we got it in before the lights even had to come on.
I'm glad we did. The other night I didn't want to have to turn the lights on, but given the circumstances. But at the same time, I think the crowd, at the end, I think they were waiting for the rest of the race. I'm not sure they were ready for it to come to an end there. But it is what it is. You'll have nights like that. Hopefully, we don't have too many more nights like that, and we can we can have, I'd rather them be under the lights, every night and have good car count and, the races last a little longer. And I think we'll have this weekend coming up, man. I think, with these Super Cups, they had already confirmed that they'd have at least 8. And they're working on 3 or 4 other guys that are on the fence. And, we've been trying to figure out how we're going to get them here and try to, push them along. So hopefully we can do that. And like I said, the Legends car should be up this week. Stock 4s, hopefully they'll be, right about the same 10, 12, cars. And, these mini stock guys, and I ain't trying to bag on them because they're not the only ones, but they got to figure out if we're having a race, you need to be here because, at some point or another, if you have 3, 4, or 5 cars every week, at some point or another, we're going to have to go, we're going to have to move on. So it's time to, put up or shut up. You got a car, you need to get it on the racetrack. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So
we might have to move on Stock 4. It looks like Keyshaun and Josh Hinchee are out here practicing on the track at the same time. Oh no! Hey, that's my girlfriend, Jordan.
I was getting ready to say if it's those two, we should probably get a camera going.
I see Josh Hinchee right there.
Yeah, we never know what might happen here. But like I said, some Stock 4 guys out here practicing today. You may or may not hear them in the background. Sometimes these microphones pick them up. Sometimes they do not.
Depends how they're feeling that day.
Yeah. Apparently they're about like you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, they're a little.
Wishy-washy.
Yeah, there you go. At least you admit it. You know what I mean? Anything else stand out to you from this past weekend?
I think we've covered it all.
I think so too. One thing I wanted to do is I wanted to mention there's a trio of people that unfortunately used to be employees here that have passed away in the last few weeks, and I just want to give mention to all of them. First I'll mention my mother-in-law who used to work in the pit concession here before I was running the place. Sue Albin, she passed away back on May 18th, and she'll be missed here. Pops Willard, Danny Willard's dad, Brandon Willard, the flagman for the car store, and the race director for the car store, Danny, their father, Pops, who used to control the gate here behind the flag stand for us. When I first took over, he passed away, a couple of weeks ago. We'll miss him, as well. And a guy who has a lot of history here. I attended his memorial last week. Flip Carrico. Flip. I know you probably don't know of him, but man, if you go on that Franklin County Speedway Memories group, man, the majority of the photos, probably over half, are his.
Yeah.
He was a great photographer here, ended up as, flagman, race director, PR person. He did a lot, worked with Whitey, for years and years and years. He was very well known in the racing community, and he's a guy who will definitely be missed. So I definitely wanted to give a shout out to those. I hadn't put those on Facebook, so I figured I'd talk about them here. 3 people that meant a lot to the racetrack and a lot to us, personally. But, hard to transition away from, talking about that. But we got another race coming up this weekend. Talked a little bit about the Super Cups and the Legends, hopefully having a good car count. Hopefully the mini stock guys will get their stuff together and have a good car count this weekend. We got the James River Equipment Ridge Runner Classic, the Super Cups. I don't know, for sure if Harvey Harrison will be here, but Harvey, a longtime racer here, moved into the Super Cup division. I don't know, 10 or 12 years ago. Raced with us last year. I don't know. I don't remember who won those races last year, but hopefully he's here with us. That's a good competitor. I know he's kind of on the fence. He's one of those on the fence guys about that. So.
I just hope that Mike Wazowski car comes. I tell y'all have to come and listen to this live.
Yeah.
To appreciate.
I don't even know what car that is.
What's going on?
I don't know.
It's a white, and I swear, I might have false memories. I swear, it's a white car that had Mike Wazowski on the side of it from Monsters, Inc. All these cars going by, they're running about the same RPM. That Mike Wazowski car goes by going, I was like, oh, my God. How is he not blowing up a motor every 2 laps? Yeah, to me, that was more entertaining than the race.
Right,
Just listening to him coming by every time. I was like, Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
I hope he comes.
Yeah. Should be a good time this weekend. Of course, I mentioned earlier we got the $100 bounty on Ethan Troll. I mean, I hope Ethan can, save me my money and get him another win. But, if, some of this competition comes out, man, I mean, it's, they're liable to take that $100. It's this is one of those tracks where if you're really good at the Legends cars, you'll be really good here. And I know Chris Lilly's not planning on running, but maybe Charlie Beals will make it back this week. He had a good car last week. Looked like, he was running about the same speeds as Ethan. So I think if he could have stayed in front of him, maybe, he could have got the win. And I'm sure Ethan, is feeling really good. You beat Charlie Beals, man. I mean, you've beat a guy who's really good everywhere he goes.
Well, he's coming off also beating Chris Lilly.
100 beat Chris Lilly, won 2 more, then won another one against Charlie Beals.
Chris Lilly has dominated here
100%.
all year long,
100%.
and it wasn't any fancy stuff. He beat Chris Lilly straight up.
Yeah,
just beat him.
Yep, he was in front of him, and then Chris, took the lead and did a crossover, got it back, and took home the victory.
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't because of an invert. It
100%.
wasn't because of he broke something.
Yep, it
was just straight up. He just outdrove him.
That's right.
And I'm looking forward to seeing that for the rest of the season.
Yep.
Ethan True, since last year, has come such a long ways, and it's super exciting. And you just got to feel, proud of him and happy for him that he's excelled this much.
Oh, he's coming into his own, and not just here, man. He's going down there to Wake County where they got 25 of these guys, and all the big teams are there. And he's running, he battled for the lead, a couple races ago, finished, top 5, 6, 7, whatever, both times. So he's, he's coming into his own as a race car driver for sure.
Yeah, he is. Like I said, I can't wait to see what comes of his career here in the next 5 years. I know he's expressed interest in running modifieds. And yeah, I'd love to see it. I can't wait to see what he turns into.
Definitely be a good next step for him for sure. Keep your eye on our Facebook page and our website over the next couple of days. Got some schedule changes coming up. We're going to remove the June 29th Star City 12-volt Masters of Carnage event. We're not going to remove it. We're just going to move it. We're going to move it to sometime in July. And then we're going to shuffle around a couple of other dates and a couple of races and a couple of divisions and a couple of different things. But we'll put that out here, on the Facebook and website here in the next couple of days, and get you guys all dialed in on that. Unfortunately, I think where we're at, and one of the reasons why, I feel like car counts are where they are, I think, even with not racing every week, I still think we're racing a little too much for where people are at, economically. And man, if you tear up a car, it's hard to bounce back if you ain't got the money or the time. So, we're going to try to trim out some of the fat in the schedule and shuffle some things around. And I mentioned, the car club and doing some spectator drag nights and, got some things going. Talked to Charlie Gardino, from up in New York or whatever, that came down here last year with the Blazer and trying to get them guys here. And, so we'll see what happens. We got to shuffle some things around and make some things work. But I think, whenever we do get everything together for the Night of Destruction, man, those nights are the most fun.
Oh, yeah. Everybody loves to see him.
Yeah, for sure.
And that poor guy in the Blazer from New York, he made that poor Mustang ruin his car.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, you have to check that video out online.
I saw that video.
Smyrna Speedway.
I saw that video, and I said, I know that Blazer. I know that Blazer anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, when we had him last year, there was several cars that wanted to come here and race that weekend because I think we were paying $1,000 to win or whatever. They didn't come because they knew he was coming. So, and he didn't end up taking it home. A little S10 did.
I don't know how he has the nuts to run like that. Obviously, he has so much money in that car.
Oh, yeah.
And he's not running like spectator drags. What it really comes down to most of the time is who's willing to drive it the hardest in the turns.
Yeah.
Everybody floors it going down the straightaway.
Sure.
That dude
He's
is running
down
it full tilt.
Yep.
Through the turns.
Yep.
And who knows how much money's worth of motor work. And, that's like a drag car. And he is just no fear, hammering it down.
It's a drag car that he's figured out how to turn left with.
It's insane.
It is. And, some of them other guys that came that night, they keep him right there with him. That Evo and all that. I mean, they're right there with him. So
that's what amazes me because I would never, in my car, even my project car I spent that much money on, I could never imagine coming down here.
Right.
And just full tilt, running straight up laps in it.
Yeah, and they really enjoyed themselves here. He said, man, I've never been to a place that doesn't just, rule us to death, tell us what we can and can't do. I said, man, we're here to have a good time. You know what I mean? I mean, that's kind of how we run everything every week. And so they're looking forward to coming back. We just got to get it all worked out and when to get them here. I believe they're going down to Dominion on the 13th of July. We've been trying to work out something for maybe the 14th. Sundays are not the easiest thing here, so we'll see what happens. But maybe we can make it work, maybe we can't. But we're definitely putting together some spectator drag things and, car shows and some other things here. Just getting people here and getting them, interested in being here on race nights. So. Anyways, keep your eye on the schedule for schedule changes. This weekend we got another race. Obviously, I told you about. Anything else?
Come out this weekend. Stock 4 is looking like it's going to be real interesting.
Yeah. Might even have to put up the wrestling ring over here. So, if you're looking to come to a fight and see the race break out, come on out this weekend for the James River Equipment Ridge Runner Classic. We'll see you Saturday night.
Keyshaun, stop blocking.